Just want to welcome everyone to this virtual walk webinar. We are going to be talking about the virtual walk program this year. I just want to thank those who are joining us either by phone or on Zoom, and I want to welcome you, and as well as anyone who is watching in the future. Welcome, and so glad you could join us and learn more about this virtual walk program. My name is Sean FitzGerald. I'm our Senior Development Coordinator, helping to run our Virtual Connections program. So if you haven't already, I encourage you to check out a number of our other recordings that we have. This is just an overview of our agenda today. We are going to be touching on a little bit of everything, but at the end, I really hope that you leave with a better understanding of what our virtual walk program is going to be looking like this spring, find some ways to really get excited about it, and ultimately figure out a way to involve friends, family, and other people in your community in it as well. So a couple quick housekeeping items. If you want to make sure that you are keeping yourself on mute during this, we will also have an opportunity to ask questions at the end of the session if you have any. Also make sure to keep yourself on your video off. We ask that as well. But again, at the end, if you would like to add video, you're more than welcome to as well. I will be monitoring our chat box throughout this session, so definitely if you have questions that pop up, feel free to put them in the chat box, and we will try and monitor that, and I might let some of our people who will be talking during this session know if there's kind of a pertinent question, so please feel free to use that as we go throughout it, but otherwise just know that we'll have a dedicated question and answer portion at the end as well. And then just a reminder, like all of our previous webinars, this session will be recorded and placed on our Virtual Connections landing page. So definitely great resources there. We've touched on some topics such as health and fitness with type 1 diabetes, coronavirus and type 1 diabetes. We touched on advocacy, how you can become an advocate, which is exceptionally important. So all those and many more coming up. Currently, we have one in May scheduled in partnership with Southwest Ohio chapter on going off to college with type 1 diabetes. So a lot of exciting topics from there. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to our other wonderful JDRF staff members who are going to take it from here.
You play with me?
I can't. Yeah, hi. I think I'm up first. My name is Deborah Smith. I'm our development director out of the Indiana chapter, and I just want to give the little note that my 3-year-old is running around behind me. So if you hear her, try not to think too much about it. She's a very active 3-year-old, so she may come around and try to talk to everyone. But I oversee our Indianapolis walk and all of our signature events, and I also work with Lindsay and Jack on their walk. So I have my hands a little bit in everything here in Indiana. And I'm kind of excited to share with everyone our virtual walk experience and what we are working on and what we have planned. So Sean, if you want to move to the first slide, we'll kind of talk about JDRF's response to COVID-19. So in early March, as the pandemic did escalate, we did make the decision to postpone over 400 events across the country, moving them from in-person to virtual platforms, really working with our staff and partners nationwide to reimagine what these gala and walks and all of our other events can look like. And our first priority is and has always been the health and well-being of our staff, our community, and their families. So that was really a huge part of that decision. And we do have a lot of resources on our website. So you can go to jdrf.org/coronavirus. If there's anything related to T1D and coronavirus that you have questions about, that's a great place to go. So we always want to let people know that that information is available and that we are here. So with that being said, we have chosen in Indiana to move completely virtual. So as always, we still need support, and the community support will allow us to keep this mission moving forward. And that way that we can meet all of our commitments, particularly and specifically within research. The research can't stop. We have to keep going. So that's one of the reasons we didn't simply just cancel our events. We are, as I said, reimagining them. So if you have any questions during any of the question sections or at the end, please let us know. We are here to help. Sean, you can go to the next slide. So yeah, I want to talk about what a virtual walk looks like for us here at JDRF and specifically within Indiana. So we have 3 walks that happen in the spring. Northern Indiana, which is up in South Bend, Mishawaka, our Holiday World Walk, and we started a new walk in Terre Haute this year. It was going to be the first year. So when we got the news that we were going to be moving to virtual, we thought it would be best and the best way to reach a larger audience to do all of those walks on one virtual walk day, which will actually be May 16th. So on that day, we are going to be holding activities, contests, incentive prizes. We're going to be doing sponsor recognition, team recognition, V1P recognition. So throughout that duration of that day, it won't be the entire day, it will be a specific set of hours. So we will be promoting that here shortly, what those hours are. But within that time frame, we hope everyone across the state and who's involved in our walks will join us and check out what we're doing. And we're encouraging people to be active during that time, go for a bike ride, walk, do other physical activity on that day, and then videotape it and share it on Facebook with the hashtag StrongerTogetherIN, standing for Indiana. We really want to show the world and our entire JDRF community what we're doing in Indiana and how we're still supporting JDRF and we're still engaging as a community here. So we hope that you and anyone who's watching this on the later recording will think about something cool that you can record with your family, activities you can do, and then post them on your Facebook with this particular hashtag. So we have also, leading up the week of the walk, we're going to be doing a Spirit Week. And there will be a bunch of different incentives, activities. Jack, who's on this call, is going to be doing a fundraiser where there will be 3 options that you can choose from. And for every $5 donated to that particular option, the one that at the end raises the most money will be what he does. Those are going to be, he'll either dye his hair blue, shave his head, or he will cut his hair to be into a mohawk. So I think that'll be really fun, something that we can kind of all rally behind. So that's just one of many things we're planning for Spirit Week. We have a t-shirt contest that we're doing. We have videos that we're working on that we can share out. And so if you guys are interested in doing a video, please reach out to Lindsay and we can send out her email address for everyone later. You can find it on the Holiday World Walk page. We'd love to have everyone join us on that day, do an activity, tune in, participate on Facebook, and hopefully we'll get to raise some money for this amazing cause. So here are some things we are working on. These are ideas we have. We're going to be doing a t-shirt contest, most steps and miles logged, a car decorating contest, a yard decorating contest, the most money raised in one day. You can see some of the examples of things that other walks have already done who went virtual and things that we also will be doing, some just highlights of things. And then, sorry guys. And so those are just some of the things we're working on, but I think what we would love to hear, if anyone on the call has any suggestions or things that you would like to see or that your family has talked about, we'd love to hear that. We have a couple hours on walk day to fill that we really want to engage people with. So we'd love to hear what people might have and what ideas you might have. I think you have to unmute people, Sean, right? If anyone else.
Yeah, I believe every attendee has the opportunity to unmute themselves if interested.
Lindsay, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I think we're good. The one thing I will add is that I am down here in the Evansville area. For those of you who don't participate in the Holiday World Walk or the Terre Haute Walk and know where I'm at, I always work remotely, so I'm always working from home. One of the things we're working on with the Evansville Police Department and the Warwick County Sheriff's Office is doing a caravan through town on walk day. We've gotten a preliminary approval to do this. We just kind of have to wait and see what the climate is like as we get closer to walk day to see if there are further restrictions about leaving our homes or not. But this is something that, you know, we saw on Facebook. A lot of the teachers are doing it and parading through their students' homes, or the teachers are going to the schools and letting the students and their parents drive through and wave at the teachers. So we are working through how we are going to do that in Evansville and Warwick County. So it'll kind of include the car decorating contest, but we also are working on making one of those drive-through caravans so that people can, you know, decorate their cars and hold up signs to support JDRF. And we've talked to a couple news stations that if we are able to do this, they will be covering that. We are also working with a radio station in Terre Haute that is planning on doing a donor drive for us during our virtual walk. So we'll have more details to come about that also. And as Deborah said, if you're interested in doing one of our videos, if you have a great fundraising idea you want to share, if you have a fun competition that you're doing with your family, your friends, your neighborhood, let us know. This is all virtual, so we have tons of space on Facebook and Instagram to share your stories and just share your ideas and to really get your why out there. We want to know why you're walking and who you're walking for. So just keep sharing your stories and let me know if you want to be involved on our virtual walk day.
I actually have a question. This is Allie Fleischer. It's the first time I've really done anything organized with JDRF. My daughter was diagnosed 1.5 years ago. But my question is that I live in the Indianapolis area, not in one of the 3 regions where you would normally have your spring walk. So are these specifically for each chapter, or does it not matter? Is Indiana its own region or chapter? And if so, like, well, how does it get allocated?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we are one chapter that is a part of the national JDRF, and they're headquartered out of New York. So there are around 60 chapters nationwide, and we within the Indiana chapter have 4 walks. We do an Indianapolis walk in September, and then we have our other walks in the spring. So the money that you raise for Holiday World, if that's the one that you're signed up for, will first go to Holiday World, and then it will go into our chapter. So as a whole, for the whole state of Indiana, we raise our funds and our revenue in different ways, through different events, through different asks, but they all go that bucket of revenue for the Indiana chapter. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, if nobody else has any more questions, I would like to turn it over to Megan Gavin. We are so lucky to have Megan with us today. She is from our national walk staff, and she gets to travel all over the country, helping different chapters with walk ideas and fundraising. So you guys are incredibly lucky to get the brain power of Megan, because she has a lot of great ideas, and she is going to talk to you guys about how to fundraise in this difficult climate.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lindsay and Deborah. Super excited to be here with y'all tonight. I do have the pleasure of being out of Orlando, so I've got some nice weather, but I am a Midwesterner through and through. So very excited to be on a call with what I would say is my Midwestern home family. So I appreciate y'all taking, again, the time to be here tonight. Right now, as we all know, more than ever, people want to feel connected and want to help support their friends and family, and also have the opportunity to do good within the community. Switching all of our events virtually has allowed us to bring each of your friends and family together safely while supporting somebody special, which is you, all of our T1D champions. I would love to be able to share with you tonight some fundraising tips from home. And starting in that space, Sean, if you wouldn't mind clicking to the next slide, it's all about creating your story. Over the last month, we have had the opportunity to host about 12 virtual events, and we've heard consistently from our supporters at each of these events that they wish they had had more time with their friends and family to bring them into the virtual experience. Participants also shared with us that their supporters and donors were waiting to hear from them. They really wanted an update on how they were managing during this challenging time and how they could support them. Now more than ever, one of my favorite sayings resonates on such a deep level: T1D never stops, so we won't stop either. So taking a page from our virtual participants, these are my top tips getting started sharing your story to be able to fundraise from home. Think about it in updates. Share an update of your T1D. What's changed while managing T1D in a pandemic? What looks different with our routines? What does it look like leaving the house? And one of my favorite ones is maybe a day in the life of what virtual school looks like in your house, and also managing type 1 throughout that process. So again, it might be crafting your story around different updates of what your day looks like, or putting together a day in the life video to be able to share on Facebook or Instagram. And then another great way to share your story at this particular time is, what does your diagnosis day look like, or few days look like? And how do we connect that back to all of our frontline heroes? Who's your medical team and where are they now? And how can you take this opportunity to thank them while also sharing your story? Some of the tried and true ways that we are fundraising from home in this virtual way is fundraising with Facebook. We are on our phones more than ever, so that is the #1 way that most people are sharing their story and also raising money for JDRF. And the other thing that I heard from a family actually in Arizona last week that I connected with, they said, we sent a letter out, hard copy letter in the mail. It had been a while since they had done that, but right now people were looking forward to little things such as getting the mail every day or every few days. So they switched it up and sent a letter, and I thought that was such a great idea to not only have a fun thing to do at home with their family, stuff the mail and send that off. You can also still send that virtually. And then one thing that you probably do every single day is text. We have a great JDRF app that you can download either on your iPhone or Android, and you can share your story from the comfort of your couch through text message. And then you also heard some really, really cool ideas that are coming up for the 3 virtual walks. I wanted to share just a few things, kind of like we're doing right now. So going virtual with a past in-person event, host it via Zoom or House Party app where people can pop in and out. You can charge an entrance fee to your particular trivia night, or play a virtual game on House Party if you were hosting cornhole events. Switch it to a virtual game. The other thing that we're seeing everywhere is trying to bring that community together. That could you get your neighborhood together to do a sneaker hunt with sidewalk chalk, have everybody draw a JDRF sneaker, and maybe put a donation jar out and have people collect donations in the neighborhood for your team. And then, as you heard at the top of this call, we've got our wonderful colleague Jack shaving his head when Boulder hit, think about challenging yourself and getting creative with your own teen and putting something out when you share your story around shaving your head or dyeing your hair or doing something fun when you hit fundraising milestones. So as you can see, we've learned quite a bit in the last few weeks from our 12 events that we hosted, but truly it's all about figuring out how you can share your story from the comfort of your home in a virtual way while also still being creative. I would love if anybody on the call has any other ideas that they're planning to do when creating their story or fundraising, or if they're having any challenges too around turning your in-person event virtual.
Hi, Megan. This is Sean. So I'm not fundraising for the walk per se, but maybe you could maybe touch on, like, I am fundraising for the ride currently, and I'm wondering, like, how do you kind of cut through a lot of like the noise that is currently out there? I guess because I'm having some trouble with that just with ride. I feel like to my family.
Yeah, that's such a great question, Sean. And as a fellow rider, I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of what I'm going to do, because this is the best idea that I can have to kind of cut through that noise in what I'm going to be doing. And Deborah, Lindsay, and Jack, you'll get to see this. But with all of the virtual events coming up, Sean, I'm turning my training rides into fundraising rides. So what I'm going to do is, for each weekend that there's a virtual event, I'm taking the area code of the phone number and saying that I'm going to ride 5.15 miles for a 515 area code. And then I'm going to ask for donations in $5 increments. So I'm putting out bite-sized, tangible information that is at a price point that I think people can buy into. So that's what I'm trying to do to cut through the noise, is putting out short training rides and short dollar amounts that tie to it, but to keep people focused for a shorter runway than what I might have had before. I think the other thing that doesn't have to do with riding, but cutting through the noise too, is just being really consistent. So if in the past we would have maybe posted once a week, it might be posting 2 or 3 times a week. And so really going back to sharing that story, providing updates a little bit more consistently through storytelling so that we can cut through, to your point, Sean, some of that noise.
Yeah, no, that's very helpful, and that's a great idea. I can anticipate a lot of people, whether on this right now or in the future, looking to start their fundraising, maybe combating the same things we're seeing. So that's a great point.
Thanks for sharing that, Megan. This is Lindsay. And for those of you who are on the call now or who might be listening later, if you didn't know, this is the 15th year for the JDRF One Walk at Holiday World. So one of the things that we have asked our sponsors to do, and we were able to get several more on board than we normally would at a higher level, we asked them for $15,000 for the 15th year. It was a really special year for us, being the 15th anniversary, but we were also taking this year to honor the late president of Holiday World, Will Cook, who had type 1 and passed away a couple of years ago. And so Holiday World has been great to us. He was instrumental in starting this walk. So you guys that are doing the Holiday World walk are going to get a little preview right now. Is one of the challenges that we are going to do just for the Holiday World walk during Spirit Week is challenging our participants to ask 15 people for $15. It's not a lot of money, but it is a small dollar amount, and it's 15 people sometimes seems like a lot, but once you start looking at your Facebook friends list and you start looking at who you know, who are in your text contacts, 15 people turns into 30 people, turns into 45 people. So we really are going to start focusing on that 15 increment. So I'm really glad you brought that up, Megan, because that's something that we are really going to lean in on as we get closer to our walk day.
Awesome. Love that. Any other questions about developing your story, sharing your story, or fundraising in this virtual space? All right, I will take that as a no. And so, Lindsay, I will kick it back over to you.
Thanks, Megan. So we just want to say thank you guys for taking the time to join us. We know right now times are hard for everyone, everywhere. We know it's not easy to ask for donations and support in the climate that we are in. People have lost their jobs, people are struggling, but we need you too, because JDRF is struggling. So we need you more than ever to help us preserve life-changing and life-saving research funding. As Megan said earlier, T1D doesn't stop, and so we can't stop, whether it's a pandemic, whether it's an economic downturn, or whether, we're all just kind of in a funk. We know that all of our T1Ds are still struggling with type 1, so we will not stop because they aren't stopping. With your support, we truly are stronger together. So thank you for helping us move the JDRF mission forward during these difficult times, and for taking the time out of your evening to jump on this call with us to learn how you can help benefit JDRF. So thank you guys.